create, relate, erase the hate. Our memories, these things we make, each stitch we take our time, we take each word, we make them rhyme. We on, we all, these flaws we fraud. 2 men dissolve to walk the dog. We tune, we zoom, the room, the loom, the birds, the boughs, the stars, the moon.
Hey Flosstube, welcome to Stitching It. My name is Stephanie, and today is going to be my first Flosstube update of the year 2021. I normally come about every month or so to show you what I've been working on and usually what I've finished, but unfortunately today I don't have anything that I can physically show you because the 2 finishes that I had within the past month were gifts. So I've already given them away to their new owners, and it was a great experience, of course, but I do have some other things that I wanted to show you because I wanted to let you know that I do like to make content, is what you can call it, for Instagram, and you know, video clips, slideshows, you know, pictures, that sort of thing, you know. I do like to share stuff that's made specifically for the platform of Instagram. That's what I'm saying. You know, so if you're not following me on there, my handle is stitchingit247. And yeah, so during the first project that I completed was actually a diamond painting. And it was a picture of a beautiful African woman that was supposed to be for my husband's sister-in-law, basically, you know, from his first marriage. So she loved it. I gave it to her for her birthday, but I'll show just a slideshow, like I said, that I made for Instagram of completing it, and I'll just pop that in real quick here. So that was just a simple slideshow progression of, you know, what I did over completing it. You know, I popped it into an inexpensive frame I got off of Amazon, and she loves it. In fact, she wants another diamond painting in the future. We already picked out an image, but I'm going to have to do it as a custom order, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get that started. But it was a lot of fun, and that was my first finish of the year, so it was nice to have something that I could complete pretty quickly. It took me about 2 or 3 weeks to do that after Christmas. So the next project that I completed was a cross stitch, and I completed it for one of my friends who was helping me out by making a custom bag for my diamond painting that I completed over Christmas. And anyway, I just wanted to say something to, you know, to express to her how I felt about our friendship, and, you know, how much she's really helped me, you know, on my creative journey. And so I completed Harriet Tubman by the Primitive Hare. You know, she just started this project. This pattern is part of a series of women who made history, and she this is the first one in the series, and I thought it was a beautiful pattern, and I wanted to complete it. So I stitched again. I don't have it to show, you know, because I already gave it away, but it turned out great. I stitched it on 40 count Prarie Dust from Color and Cotton, and I stitched it in hand. So that was a big surprise, because a few videos ago I was saying I couldn't stitch on 40 count in hand, and I've been working at it and practicing it, and I've now completed a piece on 40 count in hand. So that's exciting, and that'll kind of carry over to some stuff I'm going to talk about when I show you my whips in a minute. But I did a slideshow progression for Instagram of the Harriet Tubman piece, and again, I wanted to just pop that in here and show you real quick. what the steps that I basically how I stitched it. I put it into an inexpensive frame from Hobby Lobby, and in fact I mentioned there on the picture, you can see where it cracked, and I had to go back and exchange it the next day to put it into, you know, and it didn't crack the second time. The second frame unfortunately did not crack, so it went in there perfectly, and yeah, I gave it to her and she really liked it. So you know, it is an idea and a plan that I kind of had to try to do more gifts, even though it's hard to give away your work. This year specifically, I want to try to start doing more gifts, even though I do, you know, I do a fair amount of gifts every year, but you know, I just don't want to keep acquiring more and more projects to keep track of and in my house, and what am I going to do with them, you know, in 20 or 30 years, you know. I want to do it as a sort of outreach for people who don't know about stitching and diamond painting and stuff like that. Maybe just buy pre-made decorations for their home, you know. It's kind of, you know, and then you get to show off your work and explain it to people, you know. So that's kind of what was going on in my head this year, and I, you know, but I have to confess that after doing 2 gifts and feeling like I didn't have a whole lot to show for it because I didn't have the pieces physically, I have been spending a little bit of, I'll call it selfish stitching time since then, because I've just been trying to do, instead of, you know, complete a task that I want to give away or finish by a deadline, you know, and it makes it more like work. In this case, you know, I just felt like stitching just because of stitching. Okay? Does that make any sense? So I'll get into my whips now and I'll show you my progress. I did decide to plan by 3 months this year. Okay, so when my last video at the end of December, I talked about my plans that I was making for the first 3 months, January, February, and March. And so far I've stuck to those plans, but the biggest project that I had planned to do, I had said was going to be for my church. I wanted to try to work on a project called Disturb Us Lord by My Big Toe Designs, and I have made some good progress on it, although I haven't kept up with the exact percentage points that I need to stay on track, but I'm loving this piece. It's a gorgeous piece, and the colors that I've got are coming out wonderful on this fabric. So I'll just go ahead and show it to you. First, I'll show you where I was in my last video. I just barely had a start, is what I feel like, on Disturb Us Lord. And let me see if I can find a, I guess I'm going to take a peek into Pattern Keeper at the same time so I can see what percentage I'm on real quick. I should have written it down or at least looked it over, but I didn't, and that's okay. So let's find Disturb Us Lord. There it is. Okay, so currently I'm at 5.77%. So I've grabbed a couple points on there, and that's where I'm at. Just I've been working on the first couple of bands at the same time. It is a band sampler. In case you don't know what it looks like, I'll put the picture up. But it's on 40 count corn silk from Color and Cotton. So I'm happy with how that's going out, and it's time to put the gas on that one, okay? but I didn't feel like going straight to another gift or another something that working on it because of a deadline. So I have stitched on a couple of other projects. This one is the one I've showed you last time also. It is the last Long Dog sampler that came out until yesterday. Well, actually there were two that she just put out this week, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But this is called House of Peacocks from Long Dog Samplers. Let me just check where I was. I'll show you the picture where I was in the last video. And right now I've gotten this up to, let's see, 14.16%. So this is also on 40 count, special edition from Color and Cotton. And that's what this is not a big sampler at all. I really, really do love this. I've gotten the outline of the house. That's what I was working on last. Let's see if I can cover up my face so it'll focus. But all these little blocks that go around are pretty heavily stitched. So there is 22,000, over 22,000 stitches on this piece. But like I said, it's actually not that big. It's just heavily stitched in some of those areas. So that's going pretty good. I'm enjoying that. But since it's on 40 count again, I just can't stitch on 40 count all the time. It's hard, you know, either trying to see, trying to just be small. So I've been going back and forth from doing 40 count to going down to 36 count. Okay, now I'm getting out these two things because I saw everyone and their mama starting this piece, the Modern Folk Embroidery Sal from 2021. You know the one I'm talking about? I'll show it. It's called The Fruit of Plenty as the theme, and I've been seeing so many people stitch that, and so I couldn't resist getting it, you know. But so I'll show you my start on that, but I'm not sold on my colors yet. Okay, I did put it on a 36 count antique white, and let's see, I'm using black silk from Silks For You on as one of the colors. And I'm just not, you know, part of my problem is when I see everybody working on something, it just kind of turns me off, you know, seeing everybody working on it, you know, so many people finishing it, you know, and it's just hard. I don't know, it makes me lose interest when I see too many people working on something, and that is what's turning me off on this piece right now. But I do have the project. I love it. Maybe I'm thinking about, actually, before I'll talk about my color choices, I've been thinking about using this pink color and then a light gray to make it 3 different colors. I'm not sure about, I picked the black prematurely. And it needs some color, but I don't know what, and I don't know. But that is a start. And a purchase, I guess, too, because like I said, I purchased the pattern. But okay, so I was looking at that. It was turning me off because I was seeing so many people on Instagram and Facebook stitching it that I was like, I've seen it so many times. I can stitch it just by looking at it. Great. So so I got out Pandemic, right? Because that's another one that we're all stitching on, and there's so many people showing their, I mean, people are finishing it, people are halfway, people are almost done, and it's great, you know, but seeing it so many times, I've seen it just so much, you know, on social media, that I don't know. I don't know if it's that, or if it's because the fabric I picked 32 count. I'm trying to stitch it in hand, which is not the problem, but I sat there with 32 count, my 32 count with 2 strands, stitching it in hand. And then I was comparing it, getting out a 36 count and stitching it in hand with 1 strand over 2. And I sat there and went back and forth, and ultimately I decided that the 2 strands on 32 count wasn't, it was making a bigger piece of fabric that was harder to hold in hand. The 2 strands are harder to line up and get the tension right on both of them, whereas 36 count, you just got 1 strand, or so you don't have to worry about the way that the threads lay as much, So I found that 36 count was just easier and more relaxing to stitch than 32 count with 2 strands, okay? By going back and forth, literally holding 2 projects, stitching a few stitches here, picking up, stitching a few stitches there. That's how I did this experiment, right? So, okay. So then I decided, okay, I need a monochromatic sampler, right? On 36 count. Because the 32 count was just, it's too finicky, it's too fussy. I like 28 count better than the 32 count because I think the stitches lay better on the 28 count. 32 count, they can be just a little bit bulky for 2 strands, especially when you're stitching in hand. And if you pull on it too much, anyway, I don't have to go into it too much. But I decided to get another long dog sampler because I love long dog samplers, and they're just my go-to projects that I just love, that make me feel good, and anytime she puts anything out, I am open to starting it. So I went back and really fell in love with the new normal, which is something I think she put out at the end of last year, and it was kind of inspired by the pandemic, at least our situation. That's what she said. The new normal is characterized by having these round motifs with these animals inside these bubbles, and the idea that we're all living in our little germ bubbles, since the new normal started. So yeah, I started it. I picked out some thread. I had this fabric, Serene by Picture This Plus. It's this beautiful sort of sea green. I guess not really. I don't know, what would you call that color? But I had some fun picking out some colors that I don't normally choose, and I got this variegated DMC out, which is an orange. I think it's 4140. Yeah, I don't know. 40. Yeah, it might be 4140. I can't remember. And this is a Victorian motto color, but when I discovered through an error that it's in Pattern Keeper, right? I have it in Pattern Keeper, and between the border of the first and second page, there's a column missing. For some reason, it didn't come through. This is a known issue with Pattern Keeper with this particular chart. So I have to make adjustments by manually looking at the PDF in order to be able to add the column where the page break is. And I don't even know if it's going to go all the way down through the other pages, but we'll just have to see. But it kind of took me off course because I couldn't just mindlessly stitch. It's not mindless, but mindfully stitch maybe is the right term. In my chosen colors, I now have to go and back to the PDF and look here and look at Pattern Keeper and try to figure out the correct stitches. So that was a little frustrating, and that kind of turned me off right at the end. Once I realized all the extra work I'm going to have to go through, or at least just looking at the PDF and just not being able to mark it off the way I want to. That was kind of frustrating. But that's the stitching I've been into these last few days of January. Since I had my last finish, I just wanted to stitch on some things that really made me happy. And so I wanted to share one thing that I'm working on right now on Instagram, which is a diamond painting, and I started it in the middle of January, but I'm planning to work on it through the end of February. And in fact, I'm doing it for Black History Month, because this is a diamond painting that I got that has a picture. I'll show a picture of it again, and in fact I'll show the pictures of the diamond painting canvas too, so you can sort of see the difference. But I'm following through and completing it, and putting all these famous African American men as part of the painting, and as I complete them, I'm putting information that I've learned about them, and about their contributions, and I'm doing this throughout the month of February to celebrate Black History Month. So like I said, if you're not following me on Instagram, I do like to put out you know, its own special content, whatever. So and another thing is, I noticed that I'm getting pretty close to 1,500 subscribers. So I want to do a giveaway when we reach that milestone. So my question for you guys is, are you interested in a physical giveaway, you know, bag, or are you interested in a gift card, you know, something e-deliverable, you know, that's what I'm saying. So I just wanted to ask you guys for the next giveaway, just what you're interested in, what do you think would work best for us? You know what I mean? So let me see if there was anything else. I can't remember. Okay, so that's all I had to tell you guys, you know. Oh, I just finished and got Festive Fireplace, which was a Diamond Art Club project that I worked on over the holidays. I got it framed. It's back from the framers. I got a custom bag made for it. So that's going to be my next video. It's going to be a kit review and just showing that project and everything that went into that to get the finished project, because it is a really massive, impressive piece. So I'm going to do a separate video for that. But other than that, I hope you guys are doing good and taking care of yourselves and your families, and I'll see you guys soon.